So there's a common misconception that these don't work very well. So my recommendation is to charge them prior to use. Charging them prior to use would fix everybody's problem. If it's not in direct sunlight, they're not going to charge the battery enough to last the entire evening. So they turn off. Hey guys, it's Joeteck here, and today we're going to do a review on the Litom semicircle. I guess it's actually, I want to call it a nightlight or uh, I guess a fence light. There's no motion detection on it, but I want to say that there's a lot of negative reviews about these type lights, and they need to be smashed because I too of the negative reviews of this item, and it has nothing to do with the device itself. What it has to do with, I mean, I actually did some research, and I actually blamed the technology on the inside of the LED light, saying that the inductor wasn't strong enough and the transistor was overheating. And actually, it's not. The way this circuit works is that it takes the 1.2 volts of the rechargeable battery and increases it to 2 with the circuit. So then it could drive all 6 LEDs, which makes sense, which is great. However, you're not going to see these lights dim. So what will happen is if the battery is low power, it's like, say, 1.1 volt or something, it's going to still try to increase it to 2 volts. So at 1 volt, it could be 1.8 volts or 1.6 volts, say, if it's 0.9. And then when it gets down to the threshold, the lights are not going to dim and get dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. They're just going to shut off. So there's a common misconception that these don't work very well. So my recommendation is to charge them prior to use, because what the real problem is what I'm thinking, is that you don't have enough sunlight, direct sunlight, to charge the battery, the internal battery. These come with 600 milliamp batteries, which is not overly that large. But they don't take a lot of current and a lot of voltage. I mean, they don't take a lot of current from the battery, so 600 milliamps should run all night through. However, by charging them prior to use would fix everybody's problem. I did an experiment last night just to verify my findings, and I put them upside down like this, 11 o'clock at night, and I put in a 2650 milliamp AA battery in it. And when it came down this morning at 9 o'clock, they were still going. So that's a long time. They will probably continue to run for hours and hours and hours because they don't draw that much. So that's the problem. When you get these solar lights, you're thinking that since it's daylight, it's charging and you're going to have plenty of runtime, but that's the misconception. It's not enough. So if you want these to work properly, either replace the batteries with larger capacity. In other words, these Litoms came with 600 milliamp. I think that's probably too small. I bought another semicircle, which they're outside right now being tested. And the same identical thing happened to them. So I was like, you got to be kidding me. I got another set of lights, completely different, doing the same thing. So I said, you know what? Let me replace the batteries with Duracell, Energizer, something that's got some, balls to it, not this no-name 1,000 milliamp battery or 600 milliamp battery. And who knows if that's even, because they're so light. They're feather light. They don't have any, nickel metal in them. It's really, really light. Really, that's what, denotes how strong the batteries are. So that's the problem with these lights, is that the solar panel, if it's not in direct sunlight, they're not going to charge the battery enough to last the entire evening. So they turn off. And then when people say they tap them or they shake them. What happens is that the connection it restarts the connection, and the batteries get a chance to like kind of sort of, I guess, recharge. If you don't use a battery for a little while, it actually kind of re-energizes and kind of gets the power back, and then they turn back on for another, I don't know, 45 minutes and then shut off. So that's the problem. Charge your batteries before you use them. Simple. I have a 10 cell. I'll post it on the description below, and I'll show you a picture of it now. I have a 10 cell battery charger that actually charges AA or AAA batteries, and there's 10 of them. And it has 1,000 milliamp charger, I guess a wall wart we'll call it, or AC adapter, that trickle charges them at 250 milliamps a piece, approximately, or less, depends on how many batteries are in it. And that'll fix your problem. And these will last all night long. So I personally would probably go larger battery. So in other words, I saw a lot of these reviews on Amazon stating that they lasted for 3 months and then they died. So my thought process on that is that the batteries were probably fully charged, and then over the course of the 3 months' time, they were not in direct sunlight, so they were just slightly degrading voltage for 3 months, and then finally they don't have enough battery life charge left in them from the solar panel to keep up with it. So you have to remember, so during the day it recharges or tries to recharge the battery. But these panels are tiny. You would need these babies in direct sunlight. I mean direct. I mean like sun, solar panel. They can't be in the shade. I mean, it's daylight. It's still generating some sort of electrical current, but it's not as much as it would be if it was in full sunlight. So that's a huge thing. So if these are in full sunlight, you'll probably get lifetime use out of them. The sun's got to be on them all the time. So that's another thing to consider, is that if they're not in direct sunlight, you may have performance issues. So maybe every couple of months you open them up, take the batteries out, charge them, and then put them back in again. If you're in a shaded area but still sees sun, well, not sees sun, but you know what I mean, it's daylight, it's still going to charge a little bit if there's sunlight, like in this room. If I had batteries in these would be somewhat charging because it sees light, so that's naturally how the circuit works. It's going to start to charge the battery. But these solar panels are super tiny. I don't think I can't imagine them being any more than a half a watt or less. So remember, it has to charge a AA battery, 600 milliamps or larger, and hopefully fully charge it so you can have 8 hours of runtime. So that's the problem. So as soon as you charge the batteries prior to use, you're not going to have a problem with any of these type of solar panel rechargeable devices. All the negative reviews will probably turn to positive once they see this video. All right, guys, if you like this video, please thumbs up. If you don't like this video, thumbs down. However, I think you'll definitely enjoy it because we found the problem. Awesome. Leave it to me to find it too, which is great. Anyway, guys, take care and have a great